name is Anisha Tosin Esther, a 100-level student of Jpts International Research Center, Abuja, studying healthcare management and nursing. I want to talk about altitude. Altitude has different meaning based on the content in which it is used. In general, altitude is vertical distance between a reference datum and a point or object. So, what does altitude mean? Altitude are height. Altitude or height, also known as depth, is a distance measurement usually in vertical or up direction between a reference datum and a point or object. We also have altitude in aviation. There are several types of altitude in aviation. First, indicated altitude, absolute altitude, truth altitude, and height. We also have altitude in satellite orbit. Under altitude in satellite orbit, we have low Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, and high Earth orbit. Altitude in climate. Factor affecting climate. 1. Latitude or distance from the equator. 2. Altitude or height above sea level. 3. Distance from the sea. We have effects of high altitude on humans. The effects of high altitude on humans are considerable. The oxygen saturation of hemoglobin determines the content of oxygen in blood. Purpose of altitude. Air expands as it rises, and a fewer gas molecule, including nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide, have fewer chance to pump into each other. The human body reacts to high altitude. Benefit of altitude. Whatever the altitude, the proportional of the different gases that make up air remain the same. Joints just under 21% oxygen, 78% nitrogen, and 1% trace of gas. This means that the higher the altitude, the fewer oxygen molecules. We also have altitude sickness. Is the harmful effect of high altitude caused by rapid exposure to low amounts of oxygen at high elevation. Signs and symptoms. Symptoms include headache, stomach illness, and sleep disturbance. Causes. As altitude increases, the value amount of oxygen to sustain mental and physical alertness decreases with the overall air pressure. Through the relative percentage of oxygen is here about 21% remains practical unchanged. Prevention. Ascending slowly is the best way to avoid altitude sickness. Treatment. The only reliable treatment and its many cause the only option available is to descend. Attempt to treat or stabilize the patient in situation at altitude are dangerous unless highly controlled and with good medical facility. And how high altitude illness can be prevented or avoided among Jpts students. There are 3 important things you can do to prevent high altitude illness. 1. Take your time traveling to higher altitude. It takes several days for your body to fully adjust to lower amounts of oxygen at high altitude. 2. Sleep at a low altitude. Sleep at a lower elevation at night. This lets your body rest and recover while you sleep. 3. Hydrate before, during, or after you travel. Dehydration can increase your risk of high altitude illness. You should drink extra water several days before and after you travel. Make sure you drink enough water. Avoid or limit the amount of alcohol you consume. Thank you.